Hey, what's the problem, little Pete?
This came off, but it's not my fault. I was just...
It's no biggie, kid. All you gotta do, just pop it back on. Like this. What the heck did you do, kid?
You didn't do it, Donnie. You did.
I barely touched it.
The Megaplex strikes again!
Welcome back to the How to Feel Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror movie franchises. I'm Tawan.
I'm Elian.
And today we're reviewing Phantom of the Megaplex, released in 2000 as a Disney Channel original movie written by Andy Mayhem Singer and directed by Stuart Gillard. For these next couple episodes, me and the gang here, we all picked our favorite Disney original movie, but the horror theme one, to kind of switch up a little bit and get some nostalgia. So we'll be doing this. And Mark, will you give us the plot summary for Phantom of the Megaplex?
Teen Pete Riley works at a giant movie theater where strange things starts to happen right before a big movie premiere. Lights flicker, equipment breaks, and the popcorn machine goes wild. Pete and his friends must team up to figure out who's causing the chaos, and they discover a mysterious phantom.
So that's our plot summary for Phantom of the Megaplex. But before we get to the discussion of the movie, we wanted to add a little more value for you guys to the Haddonfield Horrors podcast. And with this episode, we want to start introducing what we're going to be calling Haddonfield Headlines, where with this, we're just going to go over some, news from the week in the horror movie realm, quick rundown of either just news in general, trailers they might have released, casting announcements, upcoming releases, that type of thing. So to kick us off with this, the first thing we'll be kind of going over is the Final Destination Bloodlines trailer. Me and Mark have been very excited since this trailer came out. Yes, as of this recording this episode, it was yesterday, Tuesday the 25th. Shit. Yeah, Tuesday the 25th is when the trailer released, the full trailer. And I'm excited.
Right? I
I'm
have to say, I've been excited since it was officially announced. This is the only, not just horror movie, but this is the only movie I've been hyped for 2025. And us doing our Final Destination retrospective mid last year just got me even more hyped. I can't wait for
God, the Final Destination. I'm actually really excited for that one, just because, I think it's been a while since the last one, and finally, I'm kind of intrigued on how we're gonna see some gills, because I know, the trailer, teased that one about the piercings, and I don't know if you guys been seeing it, but I found it really funny. I've been seeing a lot of TikToks recently, ever since I saw that Final Destination trailer, and people have been taking out their piercings, especially the nose one, and I was dying.
Because I don't know if you want to break down the trailer, but from what I got from the synopsis that was released months ago, but the trailer drove it home, this lady, the grandma, she's the reason for the entire franchise.
Essentially, that's what's being. That's kind of what I got as well from the synopsis, in addition to some bits and pieces of what I've seen over the internet before the even trailers and stuff came out, just from possible leaks and such.
After that initial synopsis, I stayed away from everything. I know one person in the cast. That's because he was in that fucking Chucky show. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I know that actor, and I know the actress that plays the younger version of the grandma, because she was in the Stargirl show, the CW show. She was Stargirl.
Oh wait,
in that
wasn't what's her? Actually, I saw that. I thought that was what's her name? Bree something. That's not her.
Her name is her name does start with a B. Her name is Breck Bessinger or something like that.
Yeah,
I think it's Brett or Brett.
she was on a
Yeah.
CW show for 2 seasons. She was in a few movies. She did a Stephen King adaptation, and I believe she dated some guy from Teen Wolf. I think I'm thinking of the right person. Her name starts with a B. So yeah, I kind of know her too. That was a shock.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one, and I really want to see how they're gonna pull it all together. It seems I'm already convinced from the trailer alone that it's like honestly the trailer itself was put together good. I'll just say that because you get some bad trailers and I'll still probably be hyped for a movie, like, because I was going to see it anyway. But like after seeing this one, like I didn't watch this trailer like multiple times as it dropped because I'm like, oh shit,
It
like
looks so
I'm
good.
excited.
Honestly,
I'm
this is the
excited.
first. This is the first. Based on the trailer, this is the first good-looking Final Destination movie. I want to say since probably the first one or the second one. Like this one has a
Mm,
real budget behind it, and like again, like knowing the synopsis, but then seeing the trailer and being like, "Oh shit!" Like Grandma has been doing work. Like she's known from Jump that all these
yeah,
other events were because of her. Like
yeah. I really wonder how deep it's gonna go.
in Space Needle, what the fuck were they in? I don't know what that was, but because she saved them, Death
It was like some
and was
buildings.
killing.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Death is like killing her, like all the grandkids and all the kids. That's a layer that I never even like thought of.
yeah. And to my knowledge, because I was I've been following this one for a while. Like even since there was like a sniffle of a new Final Destination coming out, I was like, okay, because I was following it because I remember this was back either in like 2020 or like 2021 when they kind of first were thinking about bringing it back. Initially, because of COVID and stuff, it was supposed to be about a group of like first responders who were in like a building collapse trying to like help people get out of it. And that was supposed to be the
Oh,
setup initially,
yeah.
but they retooled it into this idea later on, which I honestly still would
Of
like to see that
her.
because I feel
I
like that would
can
be cool.
you can do that. You can do that like as Final Destination 7. You know, I'd
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
but
I
I
still
do
would like
think this
to
concept
see
is
that.
amazing.
Yeah, I think this concept for it is good. It brings it's given what's the fuck it? It's given what's the term that um our girl Mindy made up in fucking Scream 5. um
Requel?
Fuck, why am I forgetting it? Yeah, it's given
Is it?
requel.
Yeah, it's giving requel. Like it's a sequel, but it's like it's a remake, and it's kind of like I just can't. I just hope because they have a big budget. I just hope they don't pull what Final Destination 4 did, and then all that fucking CGI blood and CGI kills. Like I need to be practical. I need the budget to be spent on practical effects, not CGI. People, please don't CGI.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be fine because they kind of fixed it with 5 because 5
Yep.
kills look good.
Yeah, like they had CGI, but it wasn't as like glaring because that the CGI in 4 was like
Yeah,
disgusting.
4 was just we really we don't even talk about 4. We don't need
I just
to.
I just can't wait for us to do like our re-ranking because I'm wondering like after we watch it, I kind of want to see like where it's gonna be. It's not gonna be below. It's not gonna be below Final Destination 4. I don't think it'd be
Yeah,
that bad.
it can't be that bad. Yeah,
A
it
lot
cannot
has to go
be.
wrong for it to be that bad.
Yeah, it can't be that bad. If it's that bad, we got played so hard by a
Pause.
trailer.
How do I how do I sound?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Okay, cool.
Yes, but yeah, if that happens, we got played so hard by a trailer, and also the
I'd
late
be so
Tony
pissed.
Todd, This will be his final movie performance, if I'm not mistaken.
I wasn't
Uh,
expecting him to look sick, like that sick in the trailer. I wasn't expecting that.
yeah, it's always sad to see an icon go, but I'm glad at least he got to return back to the like the new movie. Um, Always a good time, like seeing him in the
I'm just
franchise.
I'm just glad he was able to hit both of his big like franchises before he died. We got him again, even though it was a quick flash for that
Oh,
new
you're right.
Candyman, and then we got him getting him in Final Destination 6. So I'm glad he was able to like hit the two roles that like threw him on the map, especially for
Yep,
horror
yep,
fans.
for sure. Yep. Rest
R.I.P.
in peace.
Tony.
But moving on to our next headline, we have an update on the Crystal Lake show. And it's been confirmed that Linda Cardellini will be starring in the Crystal Lake show as Pamela Voorhees. Now, this show is supposed to be produced by, well, not produced by, but it's supposed to be distributed by A24. And it's going to be on Peacock when it eventually comes out. Um, we don't know much on a lot of like the background on what's exactly happening, or how it's gonna like play out. Is it just gonna be like extended of the movies? Like we don't know like
But
specifics
it
of it.
it can't. They can't use the Jason iconography. They can't use any of that. The hockey mask, the I don't even know how far they can reference when it comes like we watched Friday the 13th for Jason. I'm so sorry. Like Friday the 13th Part 1 is a classic. It kicks off a franchise, but it's a pass. And I think I said that when we reviewed it. The money shot is Jason. I'm so sorry. I don't care about Pamela. Do
But
you?
you know what? But you know what I'm kind of getting from it, like, and I don't know why, but why is it? Why do I feel like I'm gonna get like Pearl vibes from it?
Probably. And I guess, there are comics and stuff that explore like Jason's father. So I guess they can do that, but it's just like it's the same thing that Bates Motel did. It's like how long can you like how many seasons can you string me along before you give me what I want? And then what did Bates
Yeah,
Motel do? They didn't even really give me what the fuck I want. They flipped the fucking head on the fucking Psycho, like what we know from Psycho, and I didn't enjoy that, and nor did many fans. Like, so like, but they can't. We can never get the Jason Voorhees that we know and love in this TV show. They can have 8 fucking seasons and we will never see him unless something happens with the rights. Because what's the guy's name? P Minor. Is that? Can you look it up really quick? I forgot what the fuck that guy's name is. There's
who exactly?
the guy who wrote
The
the
rights
first
owner?
Friday, the
Okay.
the writer on the first Friday 13th, a fucking soap opera
Um,
writer, dumbass.
Sean. Oh wait, Victor Miller.
Yeah, okay. Victor Miller only owns the rights to the original Friday the 13th story. So Pamela and all of that shit. He owns Jason and everything that happens afterwards. Victor S. Cunningham owns that. And they've been beefing because Sean S. Cunningham owns everything else. And they've been beefing because, for 4 decades, since the 90s, Sean owned it all. It's only recently that Victor Miller was like, well, I wrote the original spec script. I want my rights. But like, you own rights to the shit no one wants to see. So unless they decide like we can make money together, let's just do it. Like I'm not gonna watch fucking 2 or 3 seasons of no Jason.
Well, we
Oh,
don't know. Well, we don't know how far it's gonna go just yet. We do gotta see. Now,
now
I
unless they do some bullshit where like it's like a mini series and they just end up morphing her into the lady from the movie and just do some digital upgrades and some shit, then I might be okay with that. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see where it's gonna land. I will say the showrunner for it right now, we might get a chance to see how it's gonna turn out because the showrunner for the Crystal Lake show is also the showrunner of the It prequel Welcome to Derry TV show, and I believe
It's
that
not.
comes out this year.
It's not Brian Fuller.
No,
I thought it was going
he
to be the guy
actually
who did
he
Hannibal.
actually is not attached anymore as of right now.
What? That was the main draw for me. Was Brian Fuller? Wow.
Yeah, Brian
That's a,
Fuller is not attached anymore as of
that's
right now.
another. I already had a P, but now the S is up. Now the A is up there. Oh my. The past
Yeah,
is coming fast. But
yeah.
I
So
love Linda Carlini down. I've been a
I
stan
do
since
too.
Scooby Doo. So, I'm a watch.
Yeah, so so I feel like once we get that Welcome to Derry show, which I believe comes out like during the summer, fall, or this year, um, we should be able to. We could probably get an idea of what a show run by this guy could look like, which also is a prequel. So I
And
mean,
speaking of that, like it surprises me that we're this far in and we haven't done any Stephen King movies. We got to get on that.
we do. Um, moving on. Though me and Mark were actually talking about this earlier in the week, a possible Texas Chainsaw Massacre revival, possibly
Listen,
starring or featuring in some context Glenn Powell from Top Gun Maverick and Twisters.
see at some point we're gonna do a Texas Chainsaw retrospective. I've been putting it off. I wanted to do it when we did the initial like big four, Ghostface, Chucky, Jason, Michael, Freddy. I wanted to do it then, but it's like that franchise is so like not together. It's like the first two movies is their own story, and then the third movie is a different story, and then the fourth movie is a different story from that. So it's just like what the actual it doesn't connect. And they try this thing every two movies or so. They go and find some big Hollywood star or singer to like throw in the movie. Like, they have that
I mean,
Matthew
shit, the
McConaughey.
last one. Who was
I
in the
mean,
last one? That was no, like be
uh
for real.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't know any of them people. And that was just like a requel, and that didn't work.
It
I'm like,
didn't
it
work
could
because
have
like
worked.
she's not like that actors like I'm not like trying to like down her, but like that character is not as like yeah she's iconic for
That's
that
not even the
one
original
movie
actress. That was another
and
thing.
yeah and it's like that character though is not like a she's not a Lori, she's not a Sydney,
She's
like
not.
she's not like any of these people that we
We
followed
saw
for like
her
so many movies
in one movie.
and
That
she
was
was
it.
out.
Yes. We saw the actress again playing different characters in two different movies, in two sequels, but like we never saw that character ever again. And like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are so like there's no cohesive stories. Only thing that they have in every movie is Leatherface. But Leatherface has a different personality in every fucking movie. So you don't even have like a real like connection to that character. And the family members change every fucking movie. It's his siblings and his parents, or it's his cousins, or just a bunch of random cannibals who like all got together and became a family and Leatherface is there. It's like, who is this? I am dreading the day that we do that. We kick off that franchise because it's annoying.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely it's gonna
can
be
Glenn
something and
Powell
I think
save the franchise?
huh Gun
Can
Powell.
can he save the franchise? I don't know.
Hon- Honestly, I would kind of be interested just to see what he does in some horror because I haven't seen him in anything horror related yet. So, I
Same.
mean, I would be interested for that part of it. But like outside of that, like nothing else is drawing me to this. Like it's gonna need to be strong for people to gain interest in this. Like Glenn is attached to it and starring. Like that might be a little bit of a driving force because he is currently one of those names I would say that's pulling in like money based off name alone these days as far
Yeah,
as new actors go. So
he's having his moment right now. I love that for him.
like I can see that part working, but outside of that, like not the if it's just the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on its own, especially after that last movie in 2022, which nobody liked. Um, yeah, I don't know what we're doing here with it.
And then
It just
and
hasn't.
it begs the question, like, is it going to connect to that last movie, or is it going to be yet another like shoot? Because outside of those the remake movies, it's rare that these movies connect. We had three different movies that are direct sequels to the first movie, but like, you know, I'm gonna just save all my complaints for when we review the movies because I got a lot, and Glenn Powell is in it. You know, Beyonce could be in it. You know, fucking Tom Holland can be in it, and I wouldn't be excited. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of those franchises that just it barely had a strong entry with the original. It just needs to
Mhm.
die.
Yeah, that we're gonna see how this plays out, or if this even moves. As of right now, these are nothing has been confirmed here. It's mainly like just rumors at this point, but it was reported on a lot, and I feel like it Deadline reports it. It tends to be true for the most part. So,
Yeah, yeah, but Deadline, I'd be like, Deadline reports on shit, but they heard in passing, like, oh,
but they tend to
someone
be pretty accurate, though.
they do, but they probably like overheard like a pitch meeting, and I just hope it stays in the drafts. No, we don't need that shit. We don't need
Yeah,
Texas Chainsaw. Leatherface is not that girl. Uh,
definitely.
well, it depends on which movie you watch.
Hey, that was a good one. Hey, that was a good one. Moving on to our next headline, though, we have an update on the Mummy. So there will be a new Mummy movie releasing next year in 2026. It is going to be directed by Lee Cronin, who helmed the Evil Dead Rise movie that released back in 2023, if mine serves me right. And it will be starring Jack Rayner, who was co-starred in Midsommar with Florence Pugh. He was the
Okay.
boyfriend in the movie. And yeah, so it looks like this is currently filming now. They just started. It's going to be, um, I believe it's filming in like Ireland and Spain at the moment. No other casting announcements have happened just yet, but it looks like production has started, and
Okay. So
we will be having
this
this out
isn't a
by.
rumor. This is actually like the wheels, like they're already left. The wheels are up
Oh
and
yeah,
running on this.
yeah. This
Okay.
it's already got a release date of April next year.
Okay. That actually gives me time because I would love. I consider those first two Mummy movies to be horror movies or horror adjacent. So
Yeah, they're like horror, like action horror, horror comedy. Like I was,
yeah,
but they shit as a kid, they got me. They scared me a little bit.
yes, and that third one is yeah. So yeah, we could definitely do like a little cute retrospective.
I
Um,
wouldn't
I
mind.
I wouldn't torture you with
Oh God,
reviewing. Well, I
I
wouldn't
already know
torture
what you got to
you with
say.
reviewing every single. I will say, at the very least, we review the very first one. Now, all the other 10 that came after that, fuck that. Okay, we review the very first one that introduced us to Emotep, and then we go to the Brendan Frasers, and then we watched that shit that Tom Cruise made us. Jesus Christ, that movie was so
I don't
bad.
know if we have to do the Tom Cruise one
You
though.
don't
If
think
we
so?
did, because like honestly, the Tom Cruise one was given like action adventure, like some Tomb
Yes,
Raider type shit.
it
He
was
was given
supposed.
Indiana Jones,
He was giving Ethan the fuck.
Ethan Hunt,
Yes, that's what he was given.
Ethan Hunt ghosts, Ethan Hunt's mummies,
He's been playing Ethan Hunt in every movie since 1990, whenever the fuck that first one came out.
and
It's,
I love it. Except that movie.
yes, and it's just same actually, but also it's like that movie tanked the whole potential, like, it tanked the dark universe. That movie was supposed to be part of a bigger universe, and they had Russell Crowe in there being Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which I really wanted to see that. And I just wanted to see how they were gonna like do this big monster mash because back in the 30s and 40s they did that all the fucking time, and then the Mummy just ruined that. So when I was hearing about this new Mummy, with actually you the one who told me about it, like I didn't know that was even a fucking thing. And outside of Lee Cohn being attached, I was like,
Yeah,
do we need
it
another
is.
one? Can we get
Yeah,
the O'Connor?
but I guess since they're, I was like they're slowly itching out some of these like older ones, but I don't. But this isn't attached to Universal though. This is a Warner Bros. Movie.
Universal is who the fuck owns Universal? No, that's Warner Brothers. No, that's W. Oh, wait. But the Mummy is a Universal monster. Did they lose the rights,
Well,
or they are
I
the?
don't know if they lost it, but I don't. I believe. Let me just double check while we're here. Let me see if the Mummy movies that the Brendan Fraser ones, if those were Universal or if those were. Um,
They
okay,
would
so
have.
that was okay. So yeah, that was Universal, but we don't know if they're using Emotep or what's happening here with that. Because I
Which
mean, the
they're
Mummy could
probably
just be
just
anything.
yeah, okay, they're probably just using the name. Okay, because I'm like, if Emotep's involved or whatever the hell, then that got to be Universal because that's Universal don't play.
So those movies that came out, like the Brendan Fraser ones and all that, those were Universal. But this movie will be done by Warner Bros., which I guess makes sense because Lee Cronin did do Evil Dead Rise, which was a Warner Bros. Movie, so they just kept him on, I guess, to do another flick
I
for
will
him.
be. I still haven't seen that, but I will be. I would have seen it by the end of this year. That's a little tease.
Yeah, we're gonna have to eventually get to that for
Yes,
sure.
that's our end of year franchise. That's what's planned. We're gonna end 2025 with an Evil Dead retrospective.
Oh, okay. You know what? Now that I'm doing a bit more digging, and this will probably be for fans who like maybe didn't know as well.
Mhm.
So this actually will be the first movie or project under the Blumhouse Atomic Monster merger.
Oh,
So the two production companies, um they merged together to make one, like
and
one
who
thing
is
for all.
Atomic Monster? For those who don't
That's
know.
that's James Wan's James
Okay,
Wan publishing, not publishing. What's the word I'm looking for?
so they
Production company.
uh they got together.
So Blumhouse, yeah. So now they've merged, and Blumhouse and that company is under NBC Universal, if I remember. Um,
Oh, well, that
so
would
okay,
explain.
it makes sense. So now it makes sense. Okay, so
So,
yeah, it's a
so
three.
it is.
Yeah,
So it is the Mummy. So Universal Pictures is involved in a way because of
yeah.
Atomic.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'm looking here. It says under the deal, Blumhouse and Atomic Monster will work as separate labels and retain creative independence with a three-way ownership structure split by Blum, the majority owner, Wan, and Comcast, parent company of NBC
Yeah,
Universal.
which is
So
okay.
that makes sense.
So it
That
is
tied
still
it
a
up.
Universal product. Okay, because I was like,
Yep.
the Mummy. That's too close. Comcast goes.
Okay, so that just tied it up for honestly, that's a powerhouse duo for horror
It is.
shit.
Like, I just need Comcast. I mean, Universal, whoever the hell they are these days, to just leave a couple notes and then that's it. Shut the fuck up, please. Y'all let
Yeah,
y'all gave Blumhouse the reins for Michael Myers, so just trust that they got this one too. Because y'all gave the people y'all gave Tom Cruise a little bit too much control. You see what happened there, so just leave by like three notes and call it a day.
yeah, I feel like they'll probably maybe not release the reins, but they'll probably like pull it back a little bit and let Lee Cronin work because I don't know. Well, I don't know if knew, but Evil Dead Rise was initially supposed to be like a straight to HBO Max movie, but
I
it
remember.
tested so well that they brought it into theatrical, and it made a lot for what that movie was. So I think they probably got a little bit of trust in them.
Yeah,
and he could probably
Warner
pull it
Brothers
off.
probably like singing his praises too.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what comes of that. We haven't had that the last Mummy movie that Tom Cruise won. Shit, by next year that would have been almost 9 years ago. That was
Yeah.
2017.
The Universal monsters outside of Dracula really don't get that much, love. Like we don't
Yeah,
really
the
do.
last
Yeah.
was I guess we could say was Invisible
Oh,
Man.
yeah,
Everybody
Invisible
really liked
Man,
that one.
that was critically acclaimed. But before that, you had that bad uh werewolf remake. I didn't really enjoy. I didn't enjoy that at all.
Shit,
It was not.
we just had the one that came out this year. I still have not actually watched The Wolfman yet. I didn't hear much good about it though. I will.
It can't be as bad as Tom Cruise, so I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm optimistic.
Okay, okay,
Now that I know who's involved, now that I know the players, I'm willing to give it a shot to see what happens.
yeah. Our next headline. This is actually some news that we haven't like talked out outside of here. That I was
Oh,
just saw when I was doing a bit of research. So, Sydney Sweeney is going to be starring in a new horror thriller movie, which is based off a Reddit no sleep story called "I Pretended to Be a Missing Girl." Now, the synopsis of the original short story centers on a young woman who shows up at a family's doorstep 10 years after their 18-year-old daughter went missing. Her plan is to convince the family she is their missing child and stay for just one night, long enough to steal some valuables and get away until things take a turn.
What's the turn? Is the family crazy?
Well, we don't know. Well, you probably will. I actually have not read the short story, so I don't know for sure. But I was
I
like,
haven't read the
coming up with
short
some
story.
headlines, I was like, this sounds interesting already. I'm like,
Yeah, but
okay.
if the family's not crazy, I'm gonna hate it because you know what? From you reading that synopsis, I've seen that same story play out about 10 times on Lifetime, and I've also seen it play out on ABC miniseries about an actual man who pretended to be some grown ass man pretending to be a long lost, like kidnapped boy, and the family kind of knew it wasn't him, but they were willing to accept it because they missed their long lost kid. But so it doesn't sound like anything like popping out the screen for me. But if the twist ends up being that the family is fucking crazy, I can get behind it.
I'm assuming that might possibly be what's going on there, and it looks like there's a couple of parts to this story. It was posted over 4 years ago, though, so um, yeah, that's interesting. Though, imagine getting paid off your Reddit short story to sell your sell the rights for a movie. That's got to be crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. Um, and lastly, what I had here was another one that I saw popped up when just looking for some stuff for us to discuss. Victoria Justice and Robbie Amell to star in Sin for a Scare from Chronicle director Josh Trank. Now, the synopsis for this one sounded kind of it was kind of reminding me of that movie Game Night. I'm gonna read it to you. The film centers on an interactive horror startup that gives thrill seekers a way to send scares to friends and family. But when potential investors host a demonstration, the experience gets hijacked by a real mass killer with a deadly agenda.
You lost me at Victoria Justice and Robbie ML. I'm so sorry. You once you said their
Hey, you
names,
gotta, you gotta give some love to the CW people.
well, Robbie's a CW person, but they both some motherfucking Nickelodeon people. No, Robbie from Cartoon Network. He was spreading those bad Cartoon Network Scooby Doo movies, but Victoria Justice, girling, I ain't pay attention to her since Zoe 101.
Nobody. Okay, let's act. Let's not act like anybody be paying attention to her. Like, come on now. Nobody
I
be paying
I
attention to her.
never saw I never really watched Victorious, and if I did, I was watching it for Ariana Grande or that cute Ivan, whatever the hell that Hispanic man name is. I was watching for everybody but her, even though it was her show. Like I am not jumping for joy for the like the worst two people to put in
We
the
say
league.
you have to jump for joy.
I'm
But
not
I
jumping
feel
for
like,
shit. I'm jumping out the window. I'm not watching that.
but we can watch it.
I guess we'll
I
have to
feel like
review. If
this,
you one of those bad
yeah.
movies, we can review.
Hey, we don't know yet. I will say Josh Trank is a pretty good director.
He could probably
Like,
turn that shitty acting into to gold. So I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot for
but it
that.
was reminding me of the movie Game Night, which is one of my favorite comedies. I fucking love that
I
movie.
don't believe I've
Uh,
seen Game Night.
oh, you are missing the fuck out. It's so funny. um, if you don't know, or if you're listening and never watched Game Night, pretty much quick synopsis of that one, even though, yes, it's comedy. Quick synopsis of that one. Group of friends, they decide to do like a game night until one of the friends does like a murder mystery type thing and gets kidnapped, but he actually gets kidnapped and then they think that it's a game until it's not.
Oh no,
And
I've seen that. That I've seen. Okay, now
yeah, that
yeah.
movie that movie is hilarious. But this is giving me that. This is the story for this was giving me that. But if it was a horror movie,
Okay. Still not like, oh my God, let me go watch. But if you knowing Tawan, if he enjoys it, he'll badger me enough to the point where I'll cave in.
I sure will.
We have a whole sub series because of it. So peer pressure works.
Type shit. All right. So that was Haddonfield headlines for our first go. Definitely, if you're listening, let us know if you guys like this segment. We can definitely continue this onward. I believe that just add a little bit more to the listeners. But let's not forget why we were here initially, and that was for Phantom of the Megaplex. So, Mark, when was the last time that you seen this movie, and what were your thoughts?
I think the last time I saw this movie was probably the last time I was a regular Disney Channel watcher, and that was probably like 2007, 2008, because I was always locked in for the Disney Channel, horror movie, the 15 Nights of Halloween on Disney Channel. So I was always watching that. So I think it's probably been since then. But I also remember like the hype of this premiere. Like I remember like seeing all the ads on Disney Channel about like, oh, the Phantom Megaplex is coming out next week, coming out tonight, and like watching it and being like, damn. So this was a bunch of nostalgia for me, and it was interesting going back.
It
Something I
was
haven't
right.
seen in a while. Like it's been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah, I had not seen this. Yeah, about the same, probably about the same time. Because like, shit, if you was a kid in that Disney Channel era, like when all the original movies coming out, when Halloween came by, you was sad because all the good movies was coming on for Disney
At
Channel.
least, at least, like you was gonna watch at least three of them. You was gonna
Like
watch two
you
of the
probably was gonna
Halloween
watch.
Town,
Yep, you was going Halloween Town. You were watching Under Wraps. You were watching Don't Look Under the
the
Bed.
OG under
Fucking
wraps at that.
Twitches, like all that stuff. Like we had a time. We had a time.
Yes,
But this one, I don't know. This one for me, I always remembered it for some reason. And like as I was watching it though, like I don't know why when I first opened it, I was like, "Well, I'm probably gonna hate this," but I didn't hate it. Like it feels like a good kids movie,
you
which is what
know,
it was.
I can't really see much just because, like, when the movie was taking place, so I can have a different opinion, especially now with, how advanced just movies in general have become. But if I'm taking the standpoint from back then, especially like, this is the first time I actually watched it, obviously it was a lot of nostalgia, to be fair, because like it reminds me of all like the early 2000s. And I was like, oh my goodness, yes. So like I know Twan brought this up about like early nostalgia, and he like it's true, like it was a lot of nostalgia. I think that's like a good part of it, like what I found good. Bad, I would say a little bit of the storyline. Nothing bad about the storyline per se. It's just more of like I felt as if Obviously, it's supposed to be a gag of like Phantom of the Opera, but still, it's just more of, how do I put it into words per se? It's just more of like they didn't put enough effort to keep it comedic. Acting was all right, I would say, but I think they could. I think it was just more just putting effort into like the storyline itself, because the actors, like I said, they're all right, they're okay, they played their roles fine, like it was actually perfectly fine. It was just more of like, I felt like there was like little missing pieces within the whole movie to make it fully complete, you know what I mean?
I did all, because I do all the for the listeners, I gather all like the behind the scenes facts and shit, and all the reviews, and I did all that before I watched the movie. So I'm like looking at these reviews from like people on IMDb and everything, and they're all just like, this is such. If you're into kids movies, this is it's not for me. I'm like, it's a fucking kids movie. What the?
Exactly. Like
So
it is a kids movie.
kind of went in like, at my big age, will I enjoy this? And I was like, "Ugh, I'm gonna be annoyed by these fucking kids." But then immediately I was like thrown back to like my childhood bedroom on like the Halloween this is a Disney Channel movie. I was like, you know
Oh
what?
god.
It's like
Like
taking me back.
I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not bad. They had me laughing at some parts. I was like, okay, like it really wasn't like it's not bad. Like obviously, like the thing is, like I put like especially what you were saying with like the reviews, like they got to be realistic with the expectations.
It's a
Like
fucking Disney
not
Channel
every
original movie.
exactly. One is a Disney Channel original movie. Like this did not come out in theaters. This was made for TV. Like there has to be a little bit of expectation set there.
Will
Let's go.
say, movie gave me PTSD as someone who worked at a movie theater for years. Who was a manager at a movie theater for years. I was like, oh God. I remember, I'm like, this is very accurate. All the things that could go wrong on a big movie night. Like, oh,
Yeah, like it, but when I was in it though, I was like, yeah, like this was fine. Like I really didn't have any issues with it. Like I was laughing at some parts. Like it was really giving me like Scooby Doo vibes.
it was so good. Only thing that was throwing me off, and I was like, why the fuck is Mickey Rooney in here? I'm like, Disney, y'all can afford Mickey Rooney? Y'all can. I'm like, I know he was old at that point, but it's still Mickey Rooney. Like, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Mickey Rooney. Like, this man had like over 100 credits by the time this movie came out. Like, I don't understand. Like, why was he bored? Did he owe the IRS? Like, why is Mickey Rooney here?
Yeah, I was that. Yeah, I was. I forgot that he was in here as well. But
That was
it
the
was
only
a
thing
good.
I
It was a
remembered.
good. It was a good throwback though. Like I was. Like, it was a good throwback. I don't know why though. I felt like from what I remember, I don't know why I felt like the quote unquote Phantom showed up more than they actually did.
That was my same thought. I was like, where the fuck is he? I was
Like
like,
I was like, huh. I remember them showing up more, but outside of like that stuff, like I thought it was a fun little watch, a good little nostalgia hit as we all love these days. And uh and what I was gonna say is one thing that I was thinking about the whole time watching this. I was like, if this was a modern theater, half of these problems wouldn't be an issue right now.
oh, everything with the projector. Like,
Yeah, like I
by
know
the
the
time
projectors are
I
like
entered,
digital.
by the time I started working for movie theaters, like, I think projectors we had just went completely digital. Like, I only dealt with a projector once, and that's because of some fucking Christopher Nolan shot a fucking movie using real. So we had to have a fucking projector. But like, I was like, oh, the popcorn machine breaking down on premiere night. It happened to me
It's
once.
probably it's probably like Dunkirk if it
It,
was around the time
actually,
that you were working.
it, it was Dunkirk. That's exactly what it was.
Yep, because that was like 2015.
Yep, and that was a horrible experience for someone who never dealt with that shit. Because you move something wrong just by a little bit, you scratch the whole film, and half the fucking movie don't work. So, but yeah, this was a.
Yeah,
It was. I don't know. I went in with no expectations because it's a kids movie. It's Disney Channel. Like I wasn't expecting like Oscar worthy, Golden Globe worthy performances, but like the acting wasn't bad. The directing was actually pretty. Like the movie looked great. I
yeah,
don't know what you
and
thought, but it looked nice.
yeah, it looked good, and especially on Disney Plus. I think it's at like 1080p too, so
Yeah, to be
they
like
like
rendered
upscaled it.
that way, like
Yeah, it looked good. It looked very good there on Disney Plus.
it actually
Um,
got me excited for like to watch the other two movies that we're gonna do in this little series. Because like if this one looked good, I hope it's for the other two because they came out after this. Yeah, They came out after
yeah,
this.
yeah. This was 2000, I believe. If I'm not, yeah, 2000. Yep. Um, so overall though, like just going back into it, like as a watching it for the first time in like so many years. Yeah, I did like it, but moving, a little bit forward. Did you have any scenes or anything that kind of stood out for you in this one, given the rewatch?
The one thing I will say is just like some scenes that I really liked. Honestly, it was just really funny and just like I was like I'm dead. Is like how like basically the Phantom at the end, Megaplex was just putting all these like props and everything. I think one of my favorite ones was just like, oh my god, watch out kids, it's a tornado. I found out it was just like, girl, bye. I am weak. And what was the other ones that I found like honestly like some good scenes that I actually really enjoyed was I one scene that actually was really like really cool to me is just like how like the big dinosaur was like growing up and the way that how it was inflating, it looked like it was coming down and like attacking the people. I thought it was really cool. Another scene that I really liked was just Movie Mason. At first I kind of was like a little bit agitated with him, with his character per se, but it was really cute how everybody loved him, especially one of the celebrities that was there for the premiere. I keep forgetting her name. And basically their boss was just like such an ass to them. And he's like, stay out of this, lady. And I'm like, girl, that's a baddie right there. Imagine, trying to like, imagine trying to like be a dick to an old guy that's been there for so many years that people love, and you just get turned down like that. I think another scene that I really like, and sorry, as Mark reads these recordings, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think right now, because like I've been watching the movie in portions with the limited time I had. Oh, okay. So it's not like a full scene, but it's just like the overall, the whole movie. What I really liked is just like, they always brought it back to their dad. And I thought it was really sweet because the mom said in like the beginning, how it was just like, the reason why he works at the Megaplex was because, like their dad was a movie fanatic. And another thing that I really loved, it was just like how all the kids were movie fanatics and they like, made comparisons like, oh, this is what happened and this and that. It just reminds me of the scene and this and that. And how, I don't know, it was just really cute. Just, like, it's just a small portion, but it was just really cute, like, how they still, like, even if their dad's gone, they still have that integrated in their life, or it's just, like, it's so natural to them. It's not like, oh, dad would say this, dad would say that. It's like, no, it just reminds me of. So it's just, like, it's cute that they have, like, that, what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? Well, I forgot a word, but it was just nice. I think the other thing that I really loved about this film per se was just all the kids had their own personality. Another scene that I want to say, it wasn't bad per se. It wasn't bad. Mark, I'm just letting you know this is going to be in the good and bad one that I would love for you to add. It was just like some of the camera positions were a little off, in my opinion. Or I just found it like so silly, like the little zoom ins where like they're like, ah. I think one of the examples was like when they were trying to look for the Phantom of the Megaplex and they just see him in the corner and it's just like a late delay before they start getting surprised. Okay, but back to scenes that I really liked or like disliked, or I forgot what this one's about.
I want to say this because I went into the movie thinking I was going to hate the little kids, the siblings. I enjoyed every scene with them.
They were endearing. Like
They
they weren't
were.
annoying me.
They weren't. And then there's like the scene with the mom, and then it's actually it's not even like really a scene, but it's like I love if they were able to like have a subplot, like a hidden subplot within the movie, because
Hmm.
they the mom kept on saying like, okay, you're working way too much. And
Yeah,
then they would also show us scenes of like, okay, yeah, he's actually working way too much. Like, cause every scene of the theater, I'm like, okay, you need to slow down. Like, I get it, but like, I'm like, you are too young to be this stressed. I'm like, I used to be you, sir. Please just slow down a little bit. So I enjoyed those scenes. I enjoy the tell me a little bit and then like sprinkle in actually showing me. So I love that part. The few scenes we got with the Phantom, I feel like we needed more. 'Cause I thought
we
there were
did
more,
need more.
and I was like,
Yeah, we did need more. Um, yeah, I
love
felt that
him
way as
running away
well.
with a little laugh. It's like, oh my
No,
god,
that
like
shit, they was just no. What took me out, I ain't gonna lie, was like when the Phantom was not in any scene and they just put the laugh in the background.
Barney shit like that would normally annoy me, but I was like, okay, this is kind of adorable. I was kind of amused.
No, I was too. One thing that I kind of want to point out was like I would say any scenes where they were like all together as like a family or having a little bit of family bitch, it felt realistic.
Yes, it did. It feels like they spent time building a familiar chemistry, so it wouldn't be so like rote. And
Yeah,
I love that. Give us
yeah,
that.
it felt good. Like it felt good for, like when they were just having like I think even like the first time when they were all together, I think the
At the
mom was like
garden.
gardening. Yeah, and I was like, that feels like a real like family interaction. So I thought that was pretty cool. One scene that I liked because it's so comedic and it was pissing me off was when at like basically the finale when the balloons were expanding in the theater and you got all these adults screaming and running around because of some balloons. Like first of all, nobody got a pen or anything. Like come on, let's like they were hiding for the balloons, like they about to kill them or something. I don't know. It was just so comedic. And then when you saw how easy it was to get behind the screen, I'm like, nobody you got all these employees in here. Nobody could have did that or went back there. Like, I don't know. That was just funny to me how they were overreacting about some big ass balloons. Um, Outside of that, the scene where the people who were watching the tornado movie had the fan go off in the theater. Why was it given like Twister in 4D?
Yes.
And they got the 4D experience in 2000. Well, with that, we're gonna move on to our character list. Obviously, we're skipping kills. This is a Disney Channel original movie. Um, yeah, but first up we have Movie Mason, which he was a cool older guy. Like honestly, the I could see how that type of person, like older person, but like they're really passionate about something, but like not as passionate as you. That they could probably be a little bit annoying, but the manager Sean, like all he had to do was just give him fake tasks to do, like. He was making it like I would say he was making it harder on himself, but like this guy just wants to help around and just be around like the theater. Like put him at like I was about to say put him at the front desk, but they did have him take tickets and he was holding up the line. So, but put him at the entrance to like welcome
Yeah,
people into the theater.
those those things kind of like made me kind of sad. I'm just like his family built that original theater, like the first theater in this town. And it looked like it, from the little flashbacks they showed us, looked like it was a whole big to do. And they're like, for that theater to burn down, and then he has to like give up his birthright. Like I was like, don't fire this man, fucking
Yeah, like
Sean.
yeah, he was just being a dick because like obviously this guy's no harm. He just likes cinema. I mean, so and like a lot of us really like cinema. Like it's so many things that he could have done with them if he was being a competent guy or manager to deal with this. Like he could have.
Was he even? He wasn't even being paid.
Like, I will be honest with y'all. Movie Mason really did annoy the fuck out of me. Like in the beginning, I was like, "Oh my god!" Because if I had to go to a movie theater and had to deal with him talking to me, I'm like, "I'm just trying to get in, just watch my film." And he goes on and goes on. I would have been so fucking pissed. But at the end of at the end of the day, you understand like Movie Mason was really like a fan of the movies.
Exactly. Like he, like bro, like just let the guy like welcome people inside the theater. Like
He just
that
wants to
type of
be part
person.
of the theater still. He probably wants to
Exactly.
be part of the experience still. Like let him be.
And like even at the old age, he does everything that he can to help this theater, even after being, disrespected, even after all the stuff that, like like basically McGibbon put him through.
Exactly. Like just let him be. Let him do his little thing. Don't let him take the tickets because he was arguing with people. I will
Yeah,
say
don't do
that part.
that.
I was like, all right, I was like, all right, Mason, movie Mason, you got to chill.
I
Let these
mean,
people in.
well, as someone who took tickets, sometimes them folks deserve it. Okay.
You're not wrong. Movie Mason would do well in a theater these days because he could just say hi and keep it moving, and then people gonna be scanning their tickets and walking past him.
Mhm. My,
But
another scene for me, was the reveal because it felt so Scooby Doo, but I didn't feel like I don't know how to explain it. Like it felt Scooby Doo, but I didn't. It didn't feel. What's the word I'm looking for? It didn't feel
like forced,
not forced. It didn't feel childish. That's not the word I'm looking for. Childish. It didn't feel kiddie. Like it felt. You know how Scooby Doo like it's a kids movie. It feels kiddie. Well, despite some of them live action questionable moments, but like the reveal, like it gave you a Scooby Doo setup, but it didn't like make you feel like you were dumb or make you feel like,
yeah,
oh, it's a kid movie. You should have known this. It's just like, oh, okay. Because I kind of forgot who the Phantom
yeah,
was.
Let me tell you, when I saw the Phantom or anything like that, because like how the story was already portraying it, I honestly thought it was Movie Mason just because of the scene that we had when McGibbon basically fired him in front of everybody.
yeah. Honestly, I had forgot as well, and it wasn't even. I ain't gonna lie. Even when the little brother was like, "It might be Merle," I was like, "Well, shit, yeah, I haven't seen Merle in a while. What the fuck he at?" And then I think it was the second time that the manager got like wrapped up. I was like, "Oh, it's him." Because why you getting caught? You getting caught up, and why you by yourself if you already got strung up the first time?
Right? Like you can only get me once. So actually, I'm leaving. My shift over with.
Well, I guess since we are on the topic of the Phantom and Sean, what were your thoughts on Sean McGibbon? Because he wants us to get his name right.
For a Disney Channel movie, I wanted to see more of the Phantom. If we saw more Phantom, less Sean, I would have liked it more.
Mm,
Um, but I didn't mind. I didn't mind him. Like you got the point. And again, it wasn't them being force fed to you, but they also weren't like, yeah, it was. They weren't force feeding it to you. it was like small drips. It's like if you're fully paying attention, okay, then you know it's him. But if you're like halfway in, it's like they were like threading it in lightly. But they also gave you other people to possibly look at. So I enjoyed it. I thought he was a good
Hmm.
character.
Yeah, I thought he worked as well. He was definitely like annoying. Like if I worked for him, I would have been quick because fuck you mean you about to blame all this on me because I'm the assistant manager and you're not doing your job. But he was also the Phantom. So, but yeah, I do share the same sentiment of wanting to see the Phantom more as well. Um, which is I don't know why we both shared the same sentiment that we thought the Phantom showed up more. That's so interesting that we both thought that.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know.
Um,
My remembrance of the movie is that like he was more prevalent and like more stuff was done. Like stuff was being done, we just weren't seeing it being done, and I would much rather have seen it.
moving on though, we have Karen and Brian, the two younger siblings of our main character Riley.
I thought they were so cute because, like, obviously they still had the dynamic of a little bit like mean sister, like all that stuff. But what I really liked is that, and unlike a lot of films, or like that have like this kind of dynamic, they actually work together, or they really got along much more than like siblings have. To be fair, and what I really love the most is just like they still back each other up. They did all this, like, throughout the whole movie. Like, they literally resembled basically what the mom said in the beginning, like their dad. Like, they'll always compare movie theater, like, movies together. They'll always, they'll always figure it out, what's going to happen. And I think the more I liked about this one is, like I said, they were working together. They basically figured it out who it was.
I thought these kids were fine. Like like usually in some like movies we had in the past, the kid actors can be a little but they like these two they felt their age in a good way and not like annoying actor type of way. I don't like. I feel as though if you watch a movie, you kind of get what I mean with that. Like sometimes they can they can have the child actors go a little overboard, but I guess whoever was directing, rein them in, told them what to do, and they hit their marks. Like they were just both very enthusiastic about like the movies and like what they were doing, but like in their own way, like the sister, like she was kind of more, like horror, like she liked that type of stuff. But both of them, they shared that love of movies, and like it wasn't giving like siblings that hated each other because like they like to do that kind of stuff all the time, especially
Especially with little
with the two
kids.
younger, yeah, especially with the younger siblings. But like they have they not like well, obviously you can tell like they love each other as like the characters, but they they had a good bond, I guess you could say, all of them, and
Yeah,
especially
because
more towards the end.
like even with like with not remembering much of this movie, I was like, oh, I don't remember there being like an antagonistic like thing between the little siblings. But then the moment she realized that he wasn't where he was supposed to be, she was on it. She was like, get on the speaker system, find my brother, have him get back to his seat ASAP. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay, this is what I remember. This is what I was remembering. And I was like, okay. And then what was his name? Sean. Yeah, like they had a cute little like sibling chemistry. I enjoyed the three of them.
Yeah, and I guess lastly, it'll bring us to Riley, who was our main character, the teenage assistant manager of the Megaplex. Bruh, like
Now
that's a
you
lot.
can't
Like
tell me. Now we joked about it last week, but you cannot tell me that on a couple of glances you didn't think that was a young Devin Sawa.
I could see it.
Yes, okay. Usually I'm going crazy,
No, yeah, I
but
could
this
see
time.
it. Riley though, bro had a lot of responsibility for a fucking 17-year-old.
But it be like that. If you tell them you have the availability and you can do the job, they will promote you and they will work your ass to the bone.
Which and it's wild because I think I remember in the movie he said like they had 26 screens. I'm like 26 screens.
Yes,
God damn.
that's insane. But it used to be like that because they used to have to keep the projectors just going all the, I feel like if I remember correctly, like getting the projector started up takes a lot. So they kind of have to just have that shit just going.
Yeah.
26 screens is crazy. I can't, I don't know what I would do. Like, I would go crazy.
Yeah, I actually read a thing on Reddit like a little while ago about what theaters do these days if nobody buys a ticket. And because it's all digital and the system can see if like somebody bought a ticket. If nobody bought a ticket for like a show, I think they say the show's like the first like 15 to 20 minutes and it just shuts off.
Yep, it does that. I can
I was
attest to
like,
that.
damn. I was like, damn. I didn't even know that was a thing. But
Yep.
yeah, Riley was a good character. He like you could definitely tell like that type of guy. Like hey, yeah, like character he had a good head and shoulders, all this stuff. He was just working himself very early. It's like I get you're 17, you want to be, with the independence and all that, but you don't got to work yourself like that, brother. Like you could chill and do a little part time, but like especially at the end when he was almost like senior manager, I'm like, bro, you about to be in this, bro? Don't you got school after the summer? How you gonna be in here?
I liked how responsible he was. And I like that
Mm,
he had that push and pull of like I work at a movie theater because I want the money, I want to save up, I want to help. But also he had like that connection to his dad. He went to movies with his dad. So that was another layer of why he was there all the time. And then they somehow gave that kid like three different storylines and they all worked and they all pulled off, which is
mm,
like insane. So
yeah,
I liked Riley.
as did I. Now moving out from our characters. Actually, you know what? One character that isn't on his list because she wasn't like anybody of interest. I need that one old lady who was like checking to see if they was in a movie or not to chill out. Because what do you mean you better be
Girl,
in the seats when I get back? Who are you?
who are you? Oh,
Like if I bought a ticket to whatever the fuck movie and I decide I want to sit in the fucking hallway the whole time, who are you to do anything about it?
also, like we aren't gonna talk about all the individual like theater employees, but I just want to say when you work at a movie theater, you do meet some pretty eccentric people. So
Such
that
as
would
like scary Terry shit like that.
yes, you come across those kind of people. So that wasn't too off the cuff.
Moving on though, we have our behind the scenes and budgeting information, some interesting facts for you. Um, we really do not know the actual budget of the movie, since it was a Disney Channel original movie, and because of that, it was a TV movie, so it does not have a box office either. So we're just going to move on to interesting facts. The movie draws inspiration from Gaston Leroux's 1910 novel, The Phantom of the Opera, adapting the concept to a modern day megaplex with a mysterious saboteur. Like many Disney productions, there are hidden Mickey Mouse shapes throughout the movie, especially in the theater decor. The film features Hollywood legend Mickey Rooney as Movie Mason, a former theater worker obsessed with cinema history. His character embodies the classic old Hollywood nostalgia Disney loves to include. The movie remains a fan favorite among early 2000s Disney Channel movies, often included in Halloween themed reruns, and currently the movie is available to stream on Disney Plus. Some critics' reactions: it currently has a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, and one Rotten Tomatoes reviewer says Phantom of the Megaplex is an unusual but entertaining DCOM, Disney Channel original movie, that really does have its heart in the right place. With that, though, that brings us to our cash or pass. So, Mark, do you cash or pass Phantom of the Megaplex?
I cashed this movie. This was a fun nostalgia trip. A movie I haven't seen in decades. A movie that I was kind of afraid I was going to be too old for, and it wouldn't hit the same, but it did. It was good, and I think it hit better
You worked at a theater.
because I worked at a theater. So there are like little like nuggets and little like Easter eggs like that I didn't get as a kid because I didn't work at a theater, and then like I was able to watch it like okay. I get Sean and I get Riley because these things they pissed me off once upon a time. So I enjoyed it. The mystery was good. I wish we would have seen more of the Phantom itself, but the whole concept I thought was pretty good. Again, it looked great. The direction looks great. The conversion to HD or where the fuck we at this point. It all looked good. The sound was good. The acting was good. You know, there are some questionable Disney Channel movies, but this is pretty good. It's a cash.
So for me, I would actually cash this just because, like, like I said, it was a nostalgia. Even though it's my first time, it's just like I still felt like, I still felt the kid in me enjoying a film like this. I was like, oh my goodness, this reminds me of old times, and that's what I really loved about it. And it was just a really cute message. It was really cute. Like, it was a cute film. At the end, I really enjoyed it. So I would definitely cash it. I would happily watch it in theaters, to be fair. Like, if they brought it back just, for like, like a nostalgic moment, or like, just watching it in theaters, I'd love to watch it in theaters. Just to feel that again.
Yeah, I agree. I would also give this one a cash. I thought it was a good little, like Mark said, a little nostalgia hit to come back to, and I feel like we need to be letting the children watch this instead of immediately putting their ass in front of Netflix and letting them pick
Yes.
what they want to watch. They need to start at the basics like the rest of us.
Cause I was thinking like I don't think my siblings have seen this movie. I don't think they've I'm the oldest, and we're all 6 years apart. And I don't think I think they missed out on the Disney. I used to be glued. I used to be waiting for the Disney Channel original movie to premiere. Like once a trailer dropped and it looked interesting, I watched every trailer. But okay, when is it coming out? I will be there on April so and so to see this premiere. And most kids my age were. Because we would talk about the next day at school. Like we were all locked in.
No, yeah.
So yeah, but they don't have that anymore. They just be on Netflix or watching baddies because these kids are out. These kids are wild.
Oh shit, not the baddies. Um, yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode, though. We will be reviewing two more Disney Channel original movies, or DCOMs, as the OGs remember. Um, Mark,
Yes.
I believe is yours next, or is Elion's next?
We'll be doing Elion's next. Next week we'll be doing Halloween Town, the original Halloween Town. Elion picked that one. I'm excited. I haven't seen Halloween Town. Honestly, I haven't seen Halloween Town since Halloween Town 4 came out, and that was 2006. I kind of was just like, I'm done with Halloween Town because they recast it. Oh, girl, and I've been in a revolt ever since. So this is gonna be going back to a movie that I swear I would never ever watch again. But you
That's
know,
funny.
I love Debbie Reynolds. I've seen Stinging in the Rain more times than I probably should because I'm not old enough and I'm not into theater. So, but I love that movie. I've seen plenty of Debbie Reynolds movies. I love her daughter, Carrie Fisher. R.I.P. to both of them. So I'm excited to hop back into Halloween Town.
Thank you for joining us today, and good night. If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elion Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a Letter to Media production.
Should we do an intro?